So, have you ever found yourself like 5 minutes into a work conversation, nodding politely, but secretly thinking, what is this person even talking about? And what do they want me to do?
Oh, absolutely. Or maybe you've hit send on an email
Yeah,
and you immediately get that sinking feeling, wondering if your point actually, landed or if they really got the core message.
totally. If you're nodding along right now listening to this, you are definitely not alone. It's kind of wild how much time we all lose just trying to clarify things that honestly could have been clear from the get-go with a bit more thought.
It really is a universal frustration, isn't it? That feeling of just wading through information without knowing the purpose and the inefficiency it creates. It's huge.
We've all been there on both sides, right?
Yeah.
Confused receiver, and maybe, let's be honest, sometimes the unclear sender too.
Guilty as charged sometimes. It's definitely a habit worth breaking.
Exactly. So today we are taking a deep dive into Chris Fenning's really great book, The First Minute, How to Start Conversations That Get Results.
Ah, yeah, it's a fantastic book.
It really is a goldmine for anyone who just wants to cut through all that noise and communicate with, well, real impact.
It's one of those books that seems, deceptively simple on the surface, but the power it packs by focusing on just those first few seconds, it can genuinely reshape how you approach communication.
Right. So our mission for you, our listener, is to unpack the core strategies from this book. We want to give you a practical toolkit, something you can actually use.
Like tomorrow.
Yeah. To transform your everyday work conversations, your emails, even how you run meetings, into interactions that are clear, concise, and actually get results.
So get ready for some, hopefully some genuine aha moments. This deep dive, it's really designed to shortcut you to being a much more effective communicator.
Think about it. Saving time, less frustration, and honestly boosting your influence at work.
And you'll probably start noticing everywhere how other people don't do this too. It kind of becomes obvious once you know what to look for.
Okay, let's dig in right at the start. The surprisingly high cost of unclear beginnings. Fenning really drills down on what happens in our brains, right?
Right.
When communication doesn't start clearly. What's going on in the listener's head?
Yeah, it's a fascinating actually. When you start talking, your audience's brain is immediately trying to do like three things at once. First, figure out the context. What topic are we even on?
Okay.
Second, why are you talking to them specifically? And third, maybe most critically, what do they need to do with this information?
Right, actionable or just FYI?
Exactly. And if that context, intent, and action aren't clear really quickly, like within the first few sentences, their minds actually start making stuff up, they create their own versions of the facts to fill the gaps.
Wow. So we're not just fighting confusion, we're actually fighting active misinformation
Yeah,
that the listener's brain generates because we haven't set the stage properly.
pretty much. Yeah.
And the tangible consequences.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't just be a minor headache, right? Does Fenning talk about the actual impact?
Oh, he absolutely does. And it's pretty sobering. This lack of clarity leads to real-world problems. We're talking wasted time, huge misunderstandings, incorrect assumptions,
Okay.
and sometimes, as the book points out, even really high-cost mistakes. It's not trivial. It hits the bottom line.
Is there data on that? Like, how much time are we talking?
There is. A Siemens Enterprise Communications study found that a business with just 100 employees spends an average of 17 hours a week just clarifying communications.
Wait, 17 hours a week?
17 hours a week.
Wow, let's carry the one. That's like 884 hours a year.
Exactly. Almost half a full-time employee's year just going back over things. Imagine what you could do with that time instead. Delivering actual value, innovating.
We're just getting the actual work done.
Right. Instead of just repeating yourself, it really highlights Fenning's main point. To avoid all this costly repetition, every single conversation, no matter how small or big, needs to start clearly and concisely.
884 hours. That number is just sticking with me. If clarity is basically free, why are we paying such a high price for ambiguity?
It really boils down to being intentional, right from that very first second. And luckily, Fenning gives us a clear roadmap for that.
Okay, so how do we actually do it? How do we build that intention into our everyday chats, emails, everything? Fenning breaks down this first-minute framework into two main steps, right?
Yep. 2 core steps. Step 1, frame the conversation in 15 seconds or less. This immediately gives context, makes your intentions clear, and provides a kind of headline for what's coming.
Like setting the scene, preparing the audience.
Exactly. Prepare them for the journey. And then step 2 is to create a structured summary of your entire message.
Okay, a structured summary.
Yeah, this summary clearly states the goal, defines the problem stopping you, and then crucially, focuses the conversation on the solution. It's a way to handle even complex stuff with brevity.
All right, let's break down that first part more, the power of framing, those first 15 seconds. You said context, intent, and headline. Let's start with context.
Right. Context is simply naming the topic, orienting your audience. You know the context, it's been swirling around in your head.
But they haven't.
Exactly. They've got a million other things going on. You need to bring them onto the same page fast.
And the key point Fenning makes is that context is always needed, right?
Yeah.
Even if it seems super obvious to you.
Always. Never assume. Because you just don't know what they were thinking about 2 seconds before you started talking. And it's so quick, less than 5 seconds usually.
Like what? Give me an example.
Simple things, like, hey, just wanted to talk about Project ABC, or quick question about the office supplies delivery. Short, clear, instantly focuses them.
Okay, got it. Context first.
Yeah.
Then comes intent, what you want the audience to do.
Yes. And this is fascinating because our brains apparently process and store information differently based on what we think its purpose is.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. So if your intent isn't clear pretty fast, say within about 20 seconds, the brain struggles. It might even just mentally file the information away as not important.
This is where Fenning's conversational roller coaster comes in, right? That story really hit home for me.
Oh, the Emma and Daniel anecdote. It's so relatable. Daniel starts rambling about some issue at TechCorp.
Emma's mind is just racing, right? Is this urgent? Do I need to fix something? Is my job on the line?
Exactly. She goes through this whole cycle of concern and then relief, all because Daniel didn't just say up front why he was telling her. Turns out he just thought it was an interesting story.
Never a dull moment, I think he said. Meanwhile, Emma's wasted 10 minutes mentally preparing for disaster.
We've all been Emma. And yeah, probably Daniel too sometimes. Fenning lists common work intents, like needing action, asking for advice, just giving a heads up, or providing info.
Even just wanting to chat needs clear intent, like, hey, got a funny story, or can I just vent for a minute? Being explicit saves so much mental energy for the other person.
Absolutely. And the final piece of this 15-second frame is the key message, the headline, the so what.
BLUF, right? Bottom line, up front, put the conclusion, the recommendation right at the beginning.
Precisely. It's like that car mechanic example in the book.
Oh, yeah, I like that one.
He always started with the cost and the time, then the details. You knew the important stuff immediately.
Which lets you process the details without freaking out or wondering where it's all going. Such a simple shift, but so powerful.
Totally. And if you ever find yourself talking and then someone asks, so, what do you need from me? Or why are you telling me this?
Ouch. Yeah.
That's a huge red flag. It means your key message was missing or buried. You made them do the work of figuring out your point.
And the book shows how concise this can be. That example of the rambling 57-word explanation about the sales system.
Versus just saying, the sales system is down and it'll take up to a week to fix. What is that, 13 words?
13 words. That's the difference between confusion and clarity right there. That kind of concision makes you seem so much more competent.
So putting it all together, framing is basically name the topic, plus state your intent, plus give the key message. 1 or 2 quick sentences.
So Daniel should have said to Emma something like, hi, can I talk about TechCorp? It's not urgent, just thought you might find this funny.
Exactly. Simple. Clear. Emma instantly knows what's expected nothing and can decide if she has time for a funny story. No roller coaster.
Okay, that makes sense for one topic, but what about when you need to cover multiple things? That's where it gets messy fast.
Right, yeah. Combining topics is where confusion really multiplies. You see it in emails with unanswered questions or in meetings that go off the rails. Fenning calls one specific issue the ambush.
The ambush. I think I've done that. You frame it like it's one thing, like an FYI.
And then, bam, you hit them with a completely different request or problem.
Yeah, I remember saying, just a quick update on the project, and then suddenly asking someone to call the VP of Legal. Definitely got the blank stare. Ambush achieved.
Yeah, we've all stumbled into that. The solution, though, is pretty straightforward. Each distinct problem or topic needs its own framing and its own structured summary.
Even if they're related to the same overall context, like a project.
Especially then. You need to introduce them clearly, but separately. Fanning uses that example of Andrea, the claims adjuster, updating her boss.
Right, she had 2 things about the new region rollout. Good news about the team.
Which was just an FYI.
And a request for a decision about more staff.
Yeah. And instead of mashing them together, she introduced them clearly. I have an update on the rollout and 2 topics. One is an FYI on the team's performance. The other needs a decision on staffing.
Ah, so it sets up mental buckets for the listener? Info bucket, decision bucket.
Exactly. Respect their processing, avoids the ambush.
Okay, so framing gets you started right. But then there's the rest of the message, especially if it's complex. That's where the structured summary comes in, the GPS method.
Yep. Goal, problem, solution, GPS. So many communication guides say be concise or summarize, but they don't tell you how. GPS is the how.
And it helps avoid common mistakes. Like, what?
Yeah. Like diving straight into nitty-gritty details before anyone knows the goal, or going off on tangents about the history of the problem, or just dwelling on the problem without moving towards a solution.
Okay, so break down GPS again.
Simple. G is for goal. What are you actually trying to achieve? P is for problem. What's stopping you from reaching that goal right now? And S is for solution. What needs to happen to overcome that problem?
And the solution part, that could be something you're proposing, or it could just be asking for help finding one.
Exactly. It could be, here's my proposed plan, or it could be, I need your advice on how to solve this, or we need to decide on a solution. The key is focusing forward.
I like that. It shifts the conversation from just describing problems to actively solving them. Makes it more positive, more future-focused.
Absolutely. It provides a clear path forward. And the book has that great example of the technical analyst.
Oh, yeah, the one who took 20 minutes rambling about firewall compliance.
Yeah, a 20-minute confusing monologue. But using GPS, the core message becomes super clear and concise.
What was it again?
Basically. Goal. We need a level 5 firewall for e-commerce security regs. Problem. Our current software only supports level 4. Solution. We need a plan to upgrade and get leadership approval.
Boom. Done. All the essential info, none of the rambling.
It's incredibly efficient, and it works even for ridiculously complex stuff. Remember Nick's summary of the NASA space station funding?
Ha! Yes. That was brilliant, summarizing decades of space policy.
Goal. Build a science lab in space for humankind. Problem. Space is hard and dangerous. Solution. Spend lots of money keeping the scientists alive.
It really shows that complexity isn't an excuse for unclear communication. You can always find the core GPS.
You really can. It forces you to distill your thinking.
So, what are the common traps people fall into when trying to summarize, and how does GPS help avoid them? I know I'm guilty of assuming people think like me.
That's a big one. Assuming your audience has the same background or thought process. GPS forces you to start with the goal, which usually requires less assumed knowledge, Fenning says. Start with the least amount of info needed. Add more only if asked.
Okay, resist the urge to data jump.
Exactly. Another trap is thinking all the details are necessary right now. You only need enough detail to understand the problem and discuss the solution for this specific interaction.
Not the entire history of the universe leading up to the problem.
Right. And the other big one we touched on, trying to summarize multiple problems at once. If you have two distinct problems, even in the same meeting.
They each need their own GPS summary, sequentially.
Precisely. Problems get solved one at a time. So frame and summarize them one at a time keeps everything focused and actionable.
Okay, this makes a lot of sense. Frame first, then use GPS for the summary. But how do you make sure the other person is actually, ready and able to listen? This brings us to time checks and validation checkpoints.
Yes. And the dreaded, do you have a minute phrase.
Ugh, I use that all the time. And it's never just a minute, is it?
Never. I remember asking someone for a quick chat once. 45 minutes later, we were deep in some project details. I could just see the panic in their eyes. They clearly had somewhere else to be.
Because a minute really means until I'm done talking. Right, not actually 60 seconds. It sets a false expectation.
Exactly. So the simple fix is the time check. Be honest. Instead of a minute, ask for the actual time you think you'll need. Do you have 5 minutes to discuss X, or I've got about 10 minutes for Y?
Manages expectations up front. Builds trust, too, I bet. Shows you respect their time.
Definitely. Because if you consistently underestimate the time, you're basically breaking a small promise every time, which chips away at your reputation.
Okay, so ask for the real time needed, and then, after you've done your framing and maybe your GPS summary, you do a validation checkpoint.
Yes, this is crucial. You need to check if they have both the ability and the availability to engage right now.
Ability meaning?
Yeah.
Like, are they the right person? Do they have the knowledge or authority?
Exactly. And availability meaning, do they actually have the time right now, and are they mentally prepared or willing to discuss it?
So you'd ask questions like, are you the right person to talk to about this?
Yep. Or, is now a good time to discuss this? Or do you have any initial questions about what I've just laid out?
That's so smart. It avoids trapping someone who either can't help you or is just swamped at that moment.
Right, because otherwise you might waste both your time and theirs. Giving them that explicit chance to say, actually, now's not good, or you need to
Oh,
talk to Sarah about that, it just makes everything more productive and respectful. Builds trust.
okay. This is all clicking. Framing, GPS, time checks, validation. Now, where does this apply? Because it feels like it's not just for, random hallway chats.
Oh, it's for everywhere at work. Seriously. Let's start with emails, the bane of many existences.
Emails are often just terrible. A wall of text, no clear point.
Totally, but they
Yeah.
benefit massively from the structure. Think about it. Context goes in the subject line. Intent can be in the subject or the very first sentence.
Key message.
Right there in the first line, too. BLUF. Then, for the body, use the structured summary goal, problem solution, maybe as bolded bullet points, makes it instantly scannable.
Oh, I love that. Bullet points for GPS. And Fenning makes a huge point about forwarding emails, doesn't he?
Yes, the cardinal sin. Forwarding a long chain with just FYI or see below, no. Always add your own structured summary at the top when you forward.
Tell the recipient why you're sending it and what the key takeaway is. Don't make them excavate the information.
Please don't. It's like handing someone a messy pile of notes and walking off. Even for longer emails, which, ideally you avoid.
But sometimes they're necessary.
Right. Even then, using GPS as maybe section headings or using bullet points helps break up the text and guides the reader.
Okay, emails make sense. What about meeting invitations? Another common source of pain. Blank invites, vague subjects.
Meeting invites are basically the start of a conversation electronically. You wouldn't just grunt room 2, 10 a.m. at someone in person.
So why do we do it with calendar invites?
Exactly. Fenning suggests a modified framing for invites, subject line for context and intent. Then, instead of key message, have a clear one-line meeting purpose and a one-line meeting output.
Purpose. Why are we meeting? Output. What will we have at the end? A decision, a list, a plan.
Precisely. A structured summary in the body is optional but helpful for complex topics. And if it's a single-purpose meeting, that invitation is the agenda. No need for a separate doc sometimes.
Simple, clear, revolutionary for meeting culture. And this clarity carries into the first minute of the meeting itself.
Absolutely. Even if it was in the invite, and let's be real, not everyone reads the invite carefully or they read it days ago.
Good point.
You should still start the meeting by quickly restating the purpose, the desired output, and maybe the GPS summary if relevant. It aligns everyone, confirms the focus, and lets people ask clarifying questions right away.
And then there's the really bold move Fenning suggests, the opt-out.
Ah, yes. After your clear intro, genuinely offer people the chance to leave. If this isn't something you need to be involved in, please feel free to drop off.
It sounds kind of crazy, inviting people to ditch your meeting.
It does, but think about it. Most people who need to be there will stay, the ones who do leave. They're saving their own time and the company's time by choosing a higher value task. It actually boosts overall productivity. It shows real confidence in your purpose, too.
Huh. Never thought of it that way. Empowering people to manage their own time. Okay, so this implies way beyond just chats, emails, and meetings too, right?
Everywhere. Status updates. Use GPS to focus on solutions, not just listing problems, unexpected questions. Mentally frame a quick GTS answer before you dive in.
Presentations.
Use framing and GPS for your introduction. Sets the stage perfectly. Even things like instant messaging still benefits from being concise and clear about intent.
And interviews. Using GPS to structure your STAR method answers.
Makes your point land immediately. It adds that layer of so what right at the start. It really is a universally applicable framework.
This intentional approach, it really does seem like it could change how you engage and definitely how others see you and engage back.
It really does. And honestly, it's not just about the clarity it brings to others, it's the confidence it gives you, knowing your message is structured and likely to land effectively.
So let's recap. We've unpacked the huge power of Chris Fenning's first-minute approach. It's all about being intentional right from the start, whether you're talking or writing.
Yeah, by mastering that quick framing context, intent, key message, and then using structured summaries like GPS, plus those crucial time and validation checks.
You basically stop guessing if your message got through, and you start actually getting results consistently.
And you, listening, you now have these tools. You can be that person at work everyone sees as a role model for clear communication. Imagine saving yourself and everyone around you all that wasted time and confusion.
It elevates your interactions, builds trust, and boosts your influence. It's about clarity, confidence, and impact.
Couldn't say it better myself.
So, as you go about your week, here's a thought. Pick a communication challenge you regularly face. Maybe it's those meetings that always seem to go in circles, or perhaps that one colleague whose emails feel like, I don't know, deciphering ancient texts.
We all have those.
Right. Now think, how might applying just one of these techniques, maybe just clearly stating your intent up front, or summarizing with a quick goal problem solution, or even just doing an honest time check, how could that one small change shift that interaction?
Shift it from frustrating to, well, fruitful.
Exactly. What new possibilities might open up for you and for your team when every conversation truly starts with clarity?